All right, you guys, we are back and we are live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you are logging on, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing for women, for the women. As you guys are logging on, say hello. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. What's up, Jared? What's up? If you are on Instagram, that's great, but you're only going to be able to hear me. If you go onto YouTube or Facebook, you'll be able to see the screen shares and the photos and all of that. The nightly routine, I know, right? Now that I'm home, I'm on for my 3 nights a week. So we go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Depending on the week, we cover different things, whether it's previewing shows or wrapping up shows, or we talk about prep stuff, presentation stuff, off-season stuff, all the fun stuff. Yeah, Christina, you're on at the beginning. You're never on at the beginning. You're always on at the end. What's up? Welcome. Yeah, say hi when you get on. Comment. We always give it about 3 minutes or so people have a chance to get on. They see the notifications pop up and all of that. While we're waiting, QR code here up in the corner. This is for my free webinar. If you need a suit, this is my suit consultation makeover webinar. It is a free webinar. Jump on there, and I do give out exclusive packages just for being on the webinar too. So right here, or you can go to suitsandposing.com. My shoulders are always popping, you guys. That's the figure girl in me. Hello from Florida. Hello. Yeah, I worked back and biceps today, so technically not shoulders, but my shoulders are always. I wish there was a shoulder contest. I could win. There's not a shoulder contest though, unfortunately. But I love showing off my shoulders. They're my thing. Yeah, I get those steps in. I know. I'm low on my steps today because I had a back-to-back day with clients. So I'm probably going to actually walk around a little bit when I get off this live feed. Get some steps in because I did not hit my step goal today. I've been in my chair all day long. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So we have another big pro show this weekend with a lot of implications on the line, and that is the Klash Series, Southern USA Pro Championships, whatever you want to call it. Big, long name. It's a pro show. So this particular pro show does have masters as well. So it's a decent sized lineup. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be perfectly honest with you. I thought that it was going to be bigger. It's still got good competition. It's still got a really good lineup and everything, but I just assumed it would be a bit bigger. The list has actually grown a little bit since it came out on Monday. This is one of the reasons why I wait a few days to do these previews, because we always end up getting people jumping on. We may have 1 or 2 more people jump on by the time we get to the weekend, but this is likely going to be your full list right here. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 girls on the list. So it's a decent sized show. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. But with that, it's a pretty competitive lineup, and there is no clear winner here either. So we're going to talk about a few people that are on this list that could be potentials to look out for. And as always, there may be people that jump out that just we've never seen before, or, they're coming in off an off season. All of a sudden they look amazing, something like that. So this is not a be all end all, but we could probably see where we're going to have a fight here. Okay. So first thing on the list that you see there that we should be paying attention to, and I think everybody's probably going to be paying attention to, is Maria Acosta. So we just talked about her last night at the New York Pro. She wasn't first call out at New York Pro. She ended up 7th. She just needed a little bit more fullness. She's one of these girls I mentioned that's just going to take the right show. She's got to come in at the right time, and she's going to actually hit a show where she's going to win. So this could be it. You know, she was very competitive at New York. New York is a very big show as far as competition depth wise is concerned. So it's very possible that she could come in and end up, you know, top 3 here. Do I think she's going to win this? No, I don't think she's going to win this. And I'll tell you why as we get into this a little bit more. I think that she's going to be in the top 5, probably the top 3. I could see her maybe as high as second, maybe, but probably top 3, top 4. I do think she'll be, if they do like a top call out of 4 girls, I think she'll be in that. So where she's going to have a little bit of issue, like we talked about with New York, is she's got to get that waistline in, and she's just got to come in full. She's got to come in and keep that fullness in her glutes. If she can do that, she's definitely a contender here. So I do see her in the first call up, probably in that top 4 or top 3. We'll see if she's able to get past that, but that's likely where she's going to end up, I think, at least. Good package here in New York. She does come in very well each show. She's just got to get a little bit, just an eensy bit better in order to be able to beat some of these top girls. So she's our first one on the list to be looking at. The next one that we're looking at is Romina. All right, so this was Romina. Was this Pittsburgh? Yeah, this is Pittsburgh. So she was what? She third in Pittsburgh? She was third in Pittsburgh, right? We just did this 2 weeks ago, and I can't even remember. Pretty sure she was third, right? Yeah, she was third. So she was third right behind Ashley in Pittsburgh. She already has won a show, so she is already Olympia qualified. So I'm sure this particular show, you know, she's from Florida. She probably wants to win as many Florida shows as she can. Pretty easy for her, just kind of step in her home state kind of deal and take home a win if she can do that. And like we've talked about before, you know, doing this kind of thing, you can tweak things, you can change your look, you can make adjustments that are going to help you going into the Olympia. Now, I know with Romina, she has been in that top call out at the Olympia before. She wants to be back again, I'm sure. She was top 10 this past year, so I'm sure she wants to get back up into that top 10, top 5 when she goes in this year. So with that, she's going to try and make these improvements throughout the season so she knows what type of package to bring into the Olympia. Now, with Romina, the hardest thing to beat with her is her glutes. Her glutes are what wins her shows. I mean, it really is. From the front, she's pretty well balanced, but she has an issue with the waistline sometimes. She has an amazing glute profile from the front. But if that waistline's a little bit watery, that's where she gets into a little bit of trouble here in the front pose. So with that, though, it's hard to beat her from the back. Let's pull up a back shot of her from Pittsburgh. She's definitely not unbeatable for sure, but she would probably be considered to be your front runner coming into this show because she is already Olympia qualified. That's the only reason why. And I'll tell you that in a minute once we get down the list a little bit more. So as you can see, her back shot's very, very difficult to beat. I actually thought in Pittsburgh she was a little bit too tight. I actually think this is a little bit too much for her. We lost a little bit of that glute pop on the inner part of her glutes there, you can see, and her hamstrings were really diced in comparison to everybody else. From this photo, it doesn't look like it so much, but in person, she was definitely the tightest one in the back in that top 4. So I do think coming in a little bit softer for her is going to be a positive. She may have tried to come in a little tighter at the show just to see how it would work for her. I'm not really sure, but I like her just a little bit fuller, a little bit softer, which is easily doable in 2 weeks. So we'll see what she does for this particular show. She doesn't need to win. She just needs to try a new look because she is already Olympia qualified. So we don't have to worry. She doesn't have to worry about winning this show, though I would say that she's probably the front runner here, right? So that's your next name on the list. Then we have Carolina. So I brought Carolina up because she took a full year off. The year before that, she competed a lot, and she was in that top 5 almost every single time that she competed. Now, when she did Girl Power, she was not in the top call out, which was kind of surprising because the call out was big. It was 8 people deep, 7 people deep, something like that in that top call out. And she wasn't up there, but that's because her conditioning was off. Let's pull up a picture real quick. So she has a crazy shape, crazy look, but you can see her conditioning is off here. She's just not tight enough, right? She's not tight enough through the legs. She's just not tight enough in general. Now, looking at this photo, you can see she kind of needs more shoulders here, right? She looks a little bit diminished through the shoulders. So we'll see what she looks like when she comes into this particular show. I'm not counting her out yet. Because again, she was a top call out girl her entire first season. So maybe just the Clash was just, or I'm sorry, the girl power was just an off show for her. So this could be potentially her coming back and kind of redeeming herself. Do I think she's going to win this show? No. Do I think she can get into that first call out? Yes. So we'll see where she ends up landing for this particular show. I'm curious to see what kind of changes she's made since Girl Power, to see if she can actually come in and get up into that top, 5-ish, somewhere in there, because that was where she was her entire first season. So be paying attention to her a little bit. Next one is Rihanna. So Rihanna just came off of a second place at the New York Pro. We just talked about her yesterday. We just talked about all of her critiques, all of the things that she needs to do in order to win a show. And honestly, like, her New York package was phenomenal. There was not a whole lot to change there. I don't foresee her trying to change a whole lot going into this Clash show. The only reason why I don't have her as the front runner in this particular show is because her and Romina just went up against each other and Romina beat her. So that's the only reason why I don't have her in the top call out, or the top winner here. But when it was her and Romina against each other, I had Rihanna winning from the front. I had Romina winning from the back. It was like a coin toss. So this could be either one of them. Either one of them could come out of this with a win. I would love to see Rihanna get the win and get her Olympia qualification. I think it's absolutely possible to do that at this show. But she's going to have to get past Romina, and she wasn't able to get past Romina the first time. So let's see if she's able to get past her this time. I do think that Rihanna's package at New York was better than what she put up on stage. Was it Girl Power? I believe it was Girl Power, where Romina won it. I do think her package here was better. So if she comes in a smidge better, then that might be enough to get her up and over Romina. I think they're going to be your top two. It's just a matter of how it's going to fall. And it really is anybody's game on show day. We just have to see them next to each other. We have to see how they're going to look next to each other. Again, when they were next to each other the last time, it was very, very tight. And I could have flipped a coin and given it to either one of them. So we'll see what happens this coming weekend. Again, it would be great to see Rihanna get her Olympia qualification here. The only reason why I have Romina as the front runner here is because Romina did beat her a few weeks ago. But we all know that can change in just a matter of a week. That can change in just a matter of 2 weeks, right? So let's see how this plays out this coming weekend. And it could be somebody else that comes in and takes it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that one or two of them is going to end up in the top two. Based on statistics, we would say the two of them are going to be your top two. But it could be anybody's game. So the next one I have here is Alice. So Alice Roca has also placed top 5. She was in New York and she placed 13th, I believe. I wanted to talk about her a little bit because she was one that we said could be potentially a dark horse going into New York. But it didn't pan out that way for New York. So she has an incredible frame. But her posing is definitely a little bit off. Her shape, again, is incredible. But she looked really thin and almost very diminished in New York. So I'm not sure what happened going into this particular show. She was in a show previously before New York. And I felt like that package was a little bit better than her New York package. So I don't know, maybe she was just a little bit off this day. But she just looked a little bit skinny in New York. So I'm curious to see how she comes out of that and if she can come in better for this next show this coming weekend. I don't think she's going to win the show, but if she comes in a little bit better, she could be top 5. I don't know. We'll see. I was a little bit surprised by her look in New York, to be honest with you. I was surprised at how thin she looked. So I'm curious to see what she does in these back-to-back shows in order to fill back out and look a little bit more full, a little bit more muscular, that kind of thing, because I think she has a great shape and a great look. It just hasn't come together quite right yet. So let's see what she does. Let's see if she's able to pull it out and see if she's able to get up on that top 5 here. And then the last thing that I have here is Krista Bellina. Now, this is an old photo. This is from the Olympia a couple of years ago. And I think that's just because of her name when I typed it in, how it came out. Krista Bellina is a previous Olympian. She did just compete overseas, whatever the last overseas show was. So this is not what her current look looks like. The last time that I remember seeing her on stage, as far as in person, was Nashville Fit Show against Jennifer Dory last year, before Jennifer won the Olympia. And it was really, really tight between Krista Bellina and Jennifer. Jennifer did win. Krista Bellina did not. So Krista Bellina actually didn't make it to the Olympia because of that. But she has been there in the past. So I'm curious to see what she looks like this year. She didn't do very well in the last show overseas, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. As we've talked about before, these European shows tend to have a little bit different judging standards, just a little. So it doesn't necessarily mean because she didn't do well over there that she's not going to do well over here. I think she might actually do better over here. Now, this particular look that she's got here at this shot at the Olympia a couple of years ago would not do well here in the States, right? No, it's not the criteria now. She's too lean. She's too striated, too dry, all those kinds of things. It was a different look a few years back. But she may be better now. I don't know. I want to put her into the mix, though, to be watching for her because she is an ex-Olympian and she's been to the Olympia a couple of times. So you never want to count somebody like that out. Just like we talked about with Priscilla. Though Priscilla has not won a show in a while, she was an Olympian in the past. So when you got somebody like that, you never want to just say that they're just not going to come back. They very well could, right? So she's definitely one to be paying attention to as well. But if I was a betting woman, I always say this, if I was a betting woman, then my money would be on either Romina or Rihanna. Those would be my top 2. Again, there's a lot of girls on this list that could be potentials that could come out, that could shock us, all of that. But I think that that's probably where we're going to see our top 2. What do you guys think? Is there anybody that I'm missing here? Do you guys have any thoughts as far as who you think is going to come out and could be maybe a potential dark horse here? Is there somebody that you think that could be somebody that I'm not even talking about that could come out and take this title and I could just be not even paying attention to them? What do you guys think? What am I missing? Anybody up? Am I missing anybody? This is a quick one. This is an easy one, right? Well, there's one that agrees with me. So I would say that would be your top 2. I do think that we could probably see Maria in 3rd. So I thought that Krista Bellina I thought it was less than 3rd. I could be wrong. You might be right because I didn't see any coverage of that show. But she would be the one that you would think going into a small European show that would win it. So that's why I said she didn't do as well as people assumed she would. But that doesn't mean anything. Like I said, doesn't mean anything coming into the States here. The look is different here. So, Krista Bellina looks insane compared to their previous looks. Okay. So we'll see what she looks like when she gets here. Again, I'm always hesitant to say anything about European competitors until they come to the States, right? Just like I said about that Valeria Val girl, same thing. Obviously when she came here to the States, she had some work to do. We haven't seen Krista Bellina compete here in the States in a while, so I don't want to say anything, positive or negative about that. All I'm saying is that, 3rd in a European show is not that great, but she could come here in the States and it could be completely different, right? It can be completely different. So her look may translate here to the judging standards here in the States a little bit better. So again, she's one to be watching out for. I definitely can see her in the top call out. And she could be the surprise of the show. She could be the one that comes in and knocks everybody out. I mean, that's possible. She's done it before. You know, she's come in and she's beaten everybody in the States before. She's won shows here in the States. So, you know, it's one of those things where we'll just see what happens when she actually shows up. She could be our dark horse. She could be our spoiler, right? What else? Who else on here? Yeah, outside of that, I mean, those are my top people. My top people right now are, you know, like I said, Rihanna and Romina, with Maria on the outside of that, and then Crystalina is kind of the wild card. I think that might be your top four. But there's a lot of girls on this list that could come out and surprise us. And who knows, you know, you might have somebody that just comes in and shocks all of us. That's always possible, right? That's always possible. But it should be a good show regardless. I mean, you know, I like the fact that no matter where we are with these shows, there's never been a show where I'm like, this person is definitely going to win, right? Even though we've got favorites, it's always nice to see other girls come in and challenge. You know, it's nice to see, like we said about Amy, it was nice to see her challenged by both Ashley and by Rihanna the last couple of weeks, right? We want these girls to come in and challenge you, right? So I don't know how many are qualified right now. I bet we could figure that out real quick. Let me see. Here's bikini right here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Is that everybody? Yeah. Yep. We got 20 girls. 20 girls qualified right now. So, and then we've got what? We've got June, July, August, September, and October. So we've got 5 more months for people to qualify. And if you notice on this list, there's a lot of girls on this list that are outside the U.S. You guys notice that? Because we haven't had a lot of U.S. shows in comparison to what we typically do. We've had more shows outside of the U.S. And that's the scenario as we get closer into and through the summer and everything too. We have a lot of overseas shows. So, I mean, when you're looking at this list, out of 20, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are from the U.S. 6 from the U.S. What did I tell you guys? 3, 4, yeah, 6. There's 6 from the U.S. That's freaking crazy when you look at it like that. Just saying, you guys. I said this at the beginning of the season that some of these United States girls are going to have to go outside the United States in order to get qualified. It's not like a typical year. You know, people always want to talk about how there's so many girls that are qualified for the Olympia and bikini and everything. That is not happening this year. The only reason why all that happened last year was because the Olympia qualification series was almost 15 months long. That's why. This year is not the same, and it will never be like that ever again. So, So yeah. It's gonna be an interesting year. I think the criteria is going to stay the same here at the Olympia. You're going to see the girls that look like the top 6, top 7, top 8, all end up in that same top again, right? And you notice there's a lot of girls that placed at the Olympia that are not even on this list that haven't competed yet this year, right? Jordan hasn't competed yet. Phoebe competed prior to. She was the first one to get qualified on the new year, so Phoebe's on there. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year, you guys. I'm trying to tell you, this as we get into the last part of the summer, the last half of the summer, this is gonna get crazy. You're gonna see all these top names coming out, and they're all gonna be knocking each other out. So. Y'all can speculate about things right now, but there's still a lot of season left to play. And we haven't even seen most of the heavy hitters come out yet this year. So just saying. It's going to get pretty crazy by the end of the summer. So I'm sure that a lot of these girls are planning their seasons based on this kind of thing. I know I am. I'm not coming back till the end of the year because I know I got no shot coming in at the end of the summer. I know that for a fact. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff tomorrow. So when we come in on Thursdays, for those of you that have not joined us on a Thursday, what we do is we talk about off-season and on-season prep stuff. So bring your prep questions, your off-season questions, those kinds of things. I talk about kind of like what I'm going through with my current season. I'm in off-season right now, but I talk about that stuff. I talk about my feedback. I talk about what we're working on, all that kind of thing. So just took the phone out of my pockets, but just look. But with that, I mean, come in tomorrow, bring questions, no question is a stupid question. And then we answer all that stuff tomorrow. So we'll talk about that. Anything else anybody wanted to add to this one? Like I said, this was a short one. Last night was a long one. It was over an hour last night. So we're good with a short one tonight, right? It's a good thing to do a short one. Any other questions? I'll leave it open for a minute. While I have it open or anything else anybody wants to comment. While I have it open too, like I said, if you need a suit, free suit webinar right here. So, you're welcome. I'm glad you guys enjoy the live streams. I love doing this. I love talking about this sport. I tend to think I'm pretty well educated with it. I have a pretty decent eye. I've got some really good experience. I know there's not a lot of people out there that have that. If y'all saw it, I mean, I put it up as my thumbnail for the last two shows where you see Amy Delgado and you see Giselle next to each other as the winners of the two shows. So many people have talked about how Amy is so muscular. And when you put her next to somebody like Giselle, you can see that she's not at all. She's not even close to being wellness. So I put that out today and that got quite a bit of attention. It just, when you see those two things together, it makes a whole lot more sense. So that's the whole point of me doing this kind of stuff. I try to put it out there and explain it with visuals, with, however we need to do it so that y'all can see that this sport is, it has a rhyme or reason to it. You know what I mean? So hopefully, the stuff that I put out there helps you learn a little bit. That's my whole goal, right? That's my whole goal when I put all this stuff out there for you. So, like I was saying, suitsandposing.com right here. If you need a new suit, we got a webinar tomorrow, free webinar right there. Come on and talk with me. I think that's it. I got more suits to put out too. I've got some really pretty ones that I just took pictures and videos of. I got to get them out on Reels. I haven't done it yet. I haven't had time. I've been back to back with clients all day today. Didn't even have a break. So I got to get that done too. With that, we're going to end out tonight. So anybody know if there's a live stream this weekend? Anybody know if there's a live? There usually is for the Clash series. Usually they've got a live stream. I should have looked before and I didn't even think. The website, theklash.com. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. There is a live? Okay. I'm clicking on the site now. I'm looking to see if I can get it. Yep. If you go to theklash.com, you'll see all the info there. Yep. And there is a live stream. There's a live stream for this weekend. Perfect. Awesome. All right, cool. So if you guys want to get the live stream, go for that. I will try to, but I have clients all day on Saturday. If you're local and you're coming to my Sundays with Sean, I will see you this Sunday. So there's that. When's our next show? Our next show that we're at? Oh, DC Pro-Am. I think DC Pro-Am is our next one in 2.5 weeks. So 2.5 weeks. So with that, I'll let y'all go. That's it for tonight. Real simple tonight. All right. We'll be back again around 8:15 and we'll do prep and off-season update stuff. We'll talk about all that kind of thing. So bring your questions. Let's see how this plays out this weekend. Let's see if Brianna gets her Olympia qualification, or maybe Romina knocks her out, or maybe Crystal Bellina comes in and takes the whole thing. Who knows? Anything could happen. Anything could happen, right? All right, guys, I'm going to let you go for this evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow night, 8:15. All right? Good night, you guys.